Do you want to make elegant macaroons at home? They're actually one of the simplest desserts if you don't get hung up on appearances. So this one I'm not going to care. Just do some whites. Some egg whites. We're using precisely 2. Now the easiest way to get out whites is just to pass them through the shell. Oops, I got a little shell in there. Rodimus, you gonna remind that? You gonna see that? You gonna see that? I don't think he's gonna see it. He's not noticing it. Oh wait, I am. Anyway, get out any of that, and then add your other whites to them. 2 egg whites. We are going to beat these into a meringue. Now you probably, that's not that safe, because if the yolk gets poked, it will explode. I wanted to rhyme. And you won't be able to use whites, and you'll have to toss them out. But this didn't, so yay me. Now we're going to beat that on high. I could have done a little more. I could have done 10. I did 8. My bad. In a stand mixer, you could use a hand stand mixer, but that's just too much work for me, and I have a stand mixer, so just easier. And that looks aerated, like a lot of air. Now we're gonna add our other wet ingredients, and you won't believe what this wet ingredient is. I'm sorry, I'm really tired. You won't believe what this other wet ingredient is. It is sugar. Sugar. Yes, sugar. We are adding sugar. I know, I don't know why it is, but it is a wet ingredient. But that, I believe, helps make the meringue kind of form, make stiff peaks happen. And, of course, add half a cup. And you could do this all with just 1 cup of a measurement, basically, but I'm not. I'm just going to use half cups and fourths. Look at them stiff peaks. If you don't know what stiff peaks mean, you should be able to lift it up, and it should form a little curly Q like soft serve. I'm going to add some purple. I probably should have added more. Always add a lot of food coloring when it's a darker color like that, going to white, because it doesn't look that purple. Not that purple, so I probably should have added more, but I didn't. I kind of regret that, because I wanted very purplish ones with green contrast, kind of like the Hulk, but yeah. Now we're going to use some almond flour. Almond flour is essential. You can't skip out on this. I know, it's, hard to find. Somewhat. It is pretty easy to find. I found it at my grocery store in like 10 minutes in the baking section. But yeah, it is something that is really worth it. It helps this so much. So yeah, you're doing 3 1/4 cups. And you're doing equal amounts of that with powdered sugar. Yes, I should have done it through this fine mesh sieve also with powdered sugar. I ended up with some clumps, but doesn't really matter. I do almond flour because if it's not, it really doesn't taste that good. If there's kind of just big globby glues. Again, I know some people are against that. Why not? Why? It's so stupid of a rule. It's a rule, and it's a rule for a purpose. That does have a purpose. I don't want giant chunks of almond flour in my macaroons. I want them to be flavored with pistachio-ness. Yes, these are going to be pistachio ones, but we're not adding any pistachio because I don't have any pistachio flour or pistachio mix to it. But yeah, 3 1/4 cups to the batter. Now we're going to fold this in. Fold. What do you mean by folding? You're going to scoop at the back and fold it into the middle and fold it back. Do that continuously. It's not going to look like it's mixing that well. It seems like there's going to be a lot more dry ingredients. But trust me, it's going to work. Now, if you really are worried about this, do 1 set of dry ingredients first, like the 3 1/4 cups of almond flour, and then do the 3 1/4 cups of powdered sugar in after. But you don't really need to. You don't need to. I got pretty good batter. Now, I'm not going to be mixing it that much. You should be mixing for about 10 minutes. I know that seems like a lot, but then again, you're thinking, this is just air. This is just air. This is going to be the only real process that we have to do by hand. We didn't have to beat the egg whites by hand. We didn't have to do anything else by hand. The buttercream, not by hand. So yeah, just folding and folding. Now you can beat this for a while, mix it together for a while, but you will end up with a lot, I don't want to say worse macaroons, but you will end up with bad ones. They won't be as aerated, they won't be as good. Now I'm going to use macaroon sheets. You could use parchment paper, but I hate parchment paper. Never lets go of my food. My galette was totally ruined by this. Anyway, these are really easy and I have them, so why not? Why not? Now you're just going to fill it a little bit with a spoonful and keep on sliding it. I am not flattening these out. I am not really doing any of that. You can slam this against the counter a couple times to flatten them out, but it doesn't do a whole that much, I find. With this less of a mixed batter, it won't really help it anymore. But you could just wait this to heat up a little bit, and some of those powdered sugar balls will dissolve a little bit, and it will be a lot better. Now you want to, of course, make sure that everything's just going in a circle. I'm going to wipe that out a little bit. Make it look nice. Then you are going to slam them out to get any kind of air packets and bubbles out. Yeah. Just make them nice and even. And, yeah. Now, I do have another size. I have a bigger size. I'm going to be using that one, but you could just make small ones. Again, if you're going to do parchment paper, heavily coat that thing in Pam. It will stick, and I hate parchment paper so much. Just so you know, I hate it. I'm probably going to make a video on how much I hate it. Diss track, guys. Just joking. And we're going to put more in, and put more in. I really do like this process. It's simple, it takes a while, but, you know, this is it. This is it. This is the work. Now, once these are all scooped in, wait 30 minutes. What we want to happen is for them to get somewhat of a crust on them. They will become kind of harder on the outside. Expose them to open air, nothing bad will happen. Nothing bad will happen. Don't worry. Don't worry, you worrisome guy. Don't worry. Nothing bad's gonna happen. But what we're doing is creating that shell prematurely. That way when it bakes in the oven, there's less time on the shell and more on the inside. So that the inside gets so gooey and good and just there's nothing in the inside. You want to make sure that you bake this well enough because its shell will be the defining factor between it being good and great. Now as you can see, some of these have been smoother. Some of these have been smoother. Two in the back are very smooth. That's what I'm liking. And maybe that could be because I was hitting them a lot more. But yeah, let them sit open air. I had enough for 3 on parchment paper just to kind of see how bad it is on parchment paper. Pretty bad. We're going to make our buttercream while our oven is, well, these are waiting. So just mix in half a stick of butter. I will add the rest of the stick later and just beat that on high. I'm going to be doing a pistachio and lime one. And, of course, going to add green food coloring. Why not? People always talk about food coloring like it's a bad thing. You added food coloring to your cake? Well, yeah. There's no color like that in nature that you can get and put into it. Unless you use boiled down spinach, which wouldn't be that good in a cake. Now, of course, you add equal amounts of powdered sugar, so 4 tablespoons. And then we're going to add 4 more tablespoons later, but you can just kind of eyeball it. Don't worry about it, man. Everything's going to be all right. You can always add more butter or more flour to it later. Not flour, icing. This is icing sugar. Sorry, did I say that? I think I did. Add my crushed pistachios, and we are going to add the little bit of water lime juice, where I see any visible dry spots. And yeah, that's going to look nice. Cleaning stuff up. This is a great time to be cleaning stuff up. Clean off the counter. Clean up all the dishes that you made. You didn't make that much, but, clean them up. Tasting it needs a lot more time and a lot more butter. I'm going to add the rest of the stick of butter. Don't do this, kids. It's too dangerous. I probably shouldn't have done that. I put it in way too fast. And then I realized it was making this horrendous sound, so I had to lift it up and then start again. Yeah, just wait till it's not spinning anymore and add that in. It will mix it a lot better. And add, of course, more powdered sugar to make it nicer. Now, you could have added the whole stick in the beginning, but that's just me. Didn't feel like it. Now, this is almost done. Well, there's that dry spot. We're going to add some white, some little green food dye to make this green, because of course pistachios are green, or pistachio, how do you say them? Anyway, we're going to preheat this to 350 degrees. Now, usually in most methods, you just bake them for 15 minutes. For 15 minutes, get a spoonful of the cream. Should look like a little too little. Then again, these were a little warm, so it did kind of melt, but the ones I did later worked a lot better. Sandwich them between two equal size ones. You want to do pretty equal size ones, because that would be annoying, biting into one that's really overhanging and get no frosting. And then yeah, I was going to put that on the counter, but then I thought against it. And just kind of sandwich it. And then you can see, since it's so hot, it's kind of melting the buttercream almost. So I had to kind of mix it around. And yeah, these are very pink. I wanted them to be dark, dark purple. But they're still good. They're still good. They have very crackly and funky tops, but I like that in them. Let them on a cooling rack to dry, and there you have it. Some macaroons made so easily that you're going to say bonjour to your new best friend in the kitchen, the macaroon.